Hi guys, so welcome back to the first proper video on this channel. Now, the World Championship's just finished, and at the end of the World Championship every year we get the Premier League picks from Matt Porter or Barry Hearn, and we've had them. So we've got our 9 players that have been named in the Premier League lineup for next year, with one player to be concluded within the near future, probably following the Masters event. Now, first pick is Gerwyn Price, world number 1, world champion. Van Gerwen, world number 2, 3-time world champion. Peter Wright, world champion, number 3. Rob Cross, world number 4, ex-world champion. Now, all 4 of them are there on merit. The top 4 always get selected because of the order of merit standard. Therefore, Rob Cross has kept his position. Now, I know this has raised a few eyebrows. However, he's earned his right over the last 2 years to be in the Premier League. We can't take that away from him, and therefore, Rob Cross is there. Number 5 is Glenn Durrant. Now, these last 6 picks are always split between Sky and the PDC. They both get wildcard picks. PDC usually get 4 and Sky get 2. We're not sure how they've been divvied up, but usually they're pretty much the same. They always pick pretty good players that were going to be there or thereabouts anyway, although sometimes they're a little bit questionable. Now, Durrant is number 5. He is the Premier League champion, so he was always going to be included. A major winner usually gets in, hence Glenn Durrant is back in. Number 6, Jose de Souza, Grand Slam champion. Number 7 is Dimitri Van den Berg, who is the World Match Play champion. Number 8, Nathan Aspinall. Now, I would have reserved this spot and left 2 picks until after the Masters. However, Nathan Aspinall's been included. He was the Premier League finalist of this year. Therefore, he's been given another chance at the Premier League after making the playoffs. Number 9 is Gary Anderson, who also made the playoffs of the Premier League. Got beat by Glenn Durrant in the semi-finals. He was the World Championship finalist of this year's edition. Therefore, he's been given his berth into this Premier League as well. Now, that leaves one spot open for many players who are all vying for the right to get this spot. Now, there'll be a few players who are really going to give it a go in the Masters, because that could be now absolutely critical in terms of proving yourself to the PDC selectors. If the Premier League is going to be delayed until April, form could change quite a bit. Therefore, I completely understand why Matt Porter's left this decision until after the Masters, because form can change. 4 months is quite a long time in darts, and you can see some people rise to the fore and some people drop off, so it does make sense. Now, there's a few players, I know I've included one in the title, Raymond Van Barneveld. Now, there are some rumours floating around that if he gets his PDC Tour card from the Euro Q School, then he could be in with a chance of this spot. We know Sky have really liked to have Raymond Van Barneveld in these arenas, and he is brilliant for the TV, but he's a huge crowd. He's a crowd seller. He's a fantastic addition to the sport, and you know, it was a shame to lose him, but if his attitude problem is still there from last year, then it might be a little bit it'd be questionable, and I think people would really dislike if Raymond Van Barneveld got put in, because there's players that have earned their right this year that played so well. Like Simon Whitlock's had a really good year. James Wade's played well, but did they sell the arenas as well as Raymond Van Barneveld do? No, they don't. That's the be-all and end-all. The Premier League is an exhibition event, and Sky and the PDC know this. They want to make money, and it makes sense. I completely understand if they put him in, but would I personally like to see him in? No, I wouldn't. A second player that's been named as a potential is Fallon Sherrick. Now, she's probably the most marketable women's darts player in the world. Lisa Ashton's a brilliant player and she's won 4 world titles, but nobody comes close to what Fallon did at the World Championships in 2020. It was an exceptional feat to beat 2 players. And I mean, Ted Evans and Menza Suljovic, neither of them are walkovers. They're both decent players. So she's proved herself within the darts world, and a consistent 90 average is decent. But will it win you games to the Premier League? Probably not. We did see her get a draw with Glenn Durrant, but I still think she's going to struggle quite a bit if she does get into the Premier League full time. So for that reason, I wouldn't be including Fallon Sherrick as my pick. A third one, which potentially might he might be seriously harmed by this, is Dirk van Dijvenbode. Now, he hasn't been included in the 24-man Masters lineup, which a video will come on that soon. So that really leaves Dirk in the lurch a little bit. We're not sure what's going to happen with Dirk now, because he can't get himself in there on merit. He can't make himself any better than what he is now on the TV. He's already proved everything he can, because this decision is going to come straight after the Masters. So Dirk's position really lies with, will anyone else step up to the mark in the Masters, or will it be one of the 9 who's already in the Premier League win the Masters? That's what Dirk's got to rely on, and then he's got to hope that Matt Porter and Barry Hearn see the potential that he's got, because he's quite a controversial character. We love all the aubergine stuff and the auberginius, and I think he could bring in crowds, but does he have the same pull as Raymond Van Barneveld? Almost definitely not. Of course he doesn't. He's only just come to the fore this year. So there's a few players that are milling about and are definitely going to want themselves to get a chance at the Premier League, because it's a huge event. it's probably the biggest event on telly, especially for these players. There's a big paycheck at the end of it, so the Premier League's a huge chance to get your name out there and become one of the most recognisable players in darts. So that'll conclude the video on the Premier League selections. Personally, if you want to know my opinion on who I would like to see in the Premier League, I would love to see Simon Whitlock get a chance back at the big stage. You know, he hasn't been there for a few years. He is a fantastic player. The 21-80s in the Grand Slam of darts and that match against Michael Van Gerwen was absolutely insane. I would love to see him get another chance at the Premier League. I don't think it's going to happen. He'd need a really good Masters result, and to be honest, I think Michael Smith might be the one that gets it. But after a disappointing World Championship, he's definitely left himself within a little bit of work to do in the Masters to prove himself. So hopefully you did enjoy that, and if you do, drop a subscribe, drop a like on the channel, and keep up to date, because there'll be new videos coming every couple of days, and as I try to keep you up to date with the darts world. And yeah, check out all the other media sources within the YouTube scene, because there's lots of good content out there, and it's really quite good if you're an interested darts fan. So yeah, check it all out, and I'll catch you all in the next one. So I'll see you then.